Good morning. Today is the 6th of November and we've got an unexpected video today. This is the Driven 24/7 social event and this is being held at a place called Rivos Hub, which is in Poole in Dorset. Driven 24/7 is a channel that some of you might have come across before. It's actually locally based to here. I think it's actually in Bournemouth, which is the next sort of district along from Poole. And as you can see, there's a sort of theme going on here, because the early days of the channel were very much focused on things like Abarth 595s and 695s. But this is the current car that Amber, who's run the channel, has. It's a 1992 BMW 36 320. And you can see that all the merchandise and everything is out today. We've got some other cars here though. We've got this mad looking E30. Don't ask me what year that is. I think that's a facelift one, but apart from that I wouldn't know. Next to this E92 M3 on a 2010 plate. I think these carbon mirrors were actually a factory option, although I could be wrong. This one might have just been wrapped a bit, judging by the boot lid and things. There we are, the sort of, I don't know, are those American spec rear lights? I wouldn't know. But I do know, I know this one. Lancia Delta Integrales Evolution 2 in the classic colour that these came in. This is an Italian spec car. It's imported to this country in about 2003. Goodness knows, you know, how much this is worth. We don't speculate about such things on this channel. So this is actually a 95 registration, but it's a 94 car, because that's when they stopped making them, and Lancia actually stopped importing cars to this country in 1994. Look at all this stuff under here. Huge amounts of power, massive turbo. Look at that. Is this actually similar to the one in the Tamer? Or is it completely different?
It's the same, yeah. It's basically the same block, yeah.
Yeah. Although this one's obviously got a lot more power in it.
It's got a 16 pound head on it. So.
Yeah. Look at the size of these hoses and things in here. It's quite cramped in here as well. I mean, working on this must be a bit difficult.
Yep.
It's just as well the bonnet kind of goes forward like on a Mark II Fiesta. But you know, the original spec wheels these aren't they? These are the original ones.
No, they're not actually.
Are they not?
These are 17s. I've got the 16s owned. It's the same style.
Yeah.
Pretty much, almost the same. But yeah.
Were they like an option or something?
No, should have 16s on.
Yeah.
It, which in silver, which I've got.
So what would these have been on originally then? What would these have been on originally? These 17s? Or are they just like an aftermarket thing?
These are aftermarket.
Okay. They look very good, don't they? Though.
Feels the arch a bit like that, yeah.
Look at the rear door and the sort of massive sort of way that comes out like this. Shows you how little I actually know about these, although somebody's bought this car from a garage in Northallerton. That's interesting. Got some interesting mirrors on here as well. Just going to open the door very carefully so we can have a look at the seats in this, because the seats are quite interesting in these. There we go, we've got HF mats in this. I think that might be an aftermarket gear lever. Look at the amount of gauges that they've got in here. Look at all those, extraordinary. Even got some here as well. That's probably an original stereo if it's a Blaupunkt. Weird kind of controls for the heating, and I don't that has air conditioning. I wouldn't expect that in something like this. And it does have electric windows. All the switches look like an afterthought though. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I actually managed to close the door. They're very similar to Alfa Romeo 90 door handles, but of course they're not the same. They look a bit like it. Right, let's go and have a look at another Lancia that's here. As chaps are saying, one of the other chaps actually owns this Thema, which is Amber's father. He's got lots and lots and lots of old Italian cars, and this is just one of them. It's a 1986 Tamer 2-litre IE turbo. This is an 8-valve engine, although it is a similar one to the one in that Delta. This was bought, I think, quite recently. The wheels are non-original on this, and it does have a lot of patina on it, but these are very, very rare cars now, these Tamers, obviously based on the same platform as the Saab 9000 and Fiat Chroma and the Alpha 164, which looks very different from these. But the Tamer, I think, only came as a saloon, and the Chroma only came as a hatchback. Just be careful not to trip over that tow bar. So yeah, I don't know what wheels off. They might actually be aftermarket HF Integrale wheels. Very kindly left the window open for me so we can see. We've got things like the electric mirror switch down there. Again, quite a similar dashboard to the Delta Integrale. Typical kind of Fiat stroke Lancia stalks on there as well over time. I don't know if I'm allowed to open this, so I won't. And look at those mirrors, they look very familiar. So there we are, it's the 8-valve version of the engine we saw earlier. Bit less power than a Delta Integrale though. Oh, I can go inside. Thank you very much. This actually reminds me, this interior, of an Alfa Romeo 90. It's the same kind of fabric in here. The same kind of crazy placement of some of the controls, like the electric mirror switches down there. At least we haven't got the mirror switches up on the top there. That would be even crazier. But look at all these things in here. Really like Lancias. We will have a Lancia actually on the channel. We'll do a sort of proper review of one later. Won't probably be this one. It'll be a different one, but that is going to happen at some point. Door cards are being changed. But yes, when you're lucky to see a Lancia Thema. Got some customised abarts here as well. Just found out that some people have come away from Kent to be here today, so quite clearly a very, very popular event. Just have a look at Amber's car. Yeah, it's still got the decal on it, J plate. It's had some, I think those are period BMW alloys fitted to it. Obviously, I think you can fit E46 wheels to these as well. So it's an early one. It's a pre-facelift because it has the earlier rear lights in it. 6-cylinder auto. Reminds me of my 45 V6 being 6-cylinder and auto. I like this colour actually. It does look nice. Those indicators have been changed. It would have had orange ones initially. Also, we've got some other stuff here. Obviously, I turned up in a Rover today because, you know, why not? Mark II Audi TT. I don't know what year that is actually, because it's on a personal plate. First time I've seen one of these. It's a Mark IV Clio Renault Sport. I think these were an auto only. I do have a review of this generation of Clio on the channel, but unfortunately the one that I drove was a 1.2 dynamic nav, which it was a bit slow. It only had 75 horsepower. This has a little bit more, and I think they all came as autos. Ooh, conventional handbrake, brilliant. I like conventional handbrakes, viewers, as you know. I think that colour actually suits the car quite well. I've got this modified Mark II Punto here. I don't know what engine this is, but this is this is not a road legal car anymore. It's pretty fast, and those tyres don't look like they grip in the wet particularly well. So, you know, probably not the best choice to try to get, you know, insurance on the road for this anymore. But Mark II Puntos are actually becoming quite rare. The Mark Is are even rarer now. So we have M140i, one of the later ones of these, because they finished production early 2019 for these. I actually do have a review of one of these on the channel. The viewer who has sold a lot of cars to the channel, Dan, actually let me have a go in his, and it's kind of similar to this. This one's been, I think, further modified by a different tuning company. Dan's was modified by Litchfield. I think this was by, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I do apologise to the person who owns this, but this is, yeah, probably a similar driving experience, which means crazy. Mr. Bill from Walls Wheels channel is supposed to be turning up at some point, so we'll wait for him to come, and but then we will continue a little bit later. So we've had a couple of other cars turn up. This is a current generation Fiesta St. I think this is the, very proudly someone's put it as a Mark 8, which it is. Mark 8 in this country, Mark 7 in some others. I think this is a 1.5 3-cylinder actually in this. Got a couple of, I think this is the current generation Clio, and then there's one that's in there, that's slightly older one. This is the RS line, which I think Planet Auto actually covered on the channel quite recently, if you want to see a review of one of those. But this is a very rare car actually. This is a Renault Wind. I think they imported them to this country between 2010 and 2012, when Renault made a decision to stop importing quite a number of the cars that weren't selling. I think the Espace and the Modus and the Laguna also kind of went at the same time, but the platform I think is quite similar to the Clio, which I could be wrong about. I don't know a lot about these cars, but yeah, certainly an interesting thing to see. Something else interesting that's here is this Volkswagen K70. I don't think I've ever seen one before in my life. I mean, there's not very much of it left. I don't think it's going to be going back on the road anytime soon or anything, but it is a genuine K70. They didn't sell many of them at all. Essex plate, K, so 71, 72, and there's what's left of the underneath, which isn't an awful lot, but fascinating. As we said earlier, Mr. Bill is here from the Walls Wheels channel in Millie, the Mini. It's 1991 Mini City with the 998cc engine. I did do a walk around of this car actually in September 2020, which is on the channel. I had real difficulty getting in the back. It wasn't the best really for me, but he seems to like it anyway. I'm not surprised. This Skoda Octavia estate here, the Mark III pre-facelift. I think this has got a forbidden fuel engine in it, so I don't think we're going to be able to talk about it. In fact, I should probably stop recording now. Let's just have a look inside Rivos Hub whilst we're here. And we can see we've got some cars in here as well. We've got this thing, it looks like an old Chevy Blazer that's been used as a DJ booth. This old shell from, I think, a 60s Volkswagen. And we've got a Volkswagen thing. I forget actually what the name for these in this country was. Type 181 I think it was, or 182 depending on where you were. But there's one of these that's in here. I think the people who run this place are quite involved with the Dorset Volksfest. That's probably why there's so much of this kind of stuff here. You know, I live reasonably locally to here. I live less than an hour away, and I never used this here, which is interesting. So there we are. Very kind of short, slightly shambolic shuffle around the Driven 24/7 social here in Poole. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Obviously have a look at Driven 24/7 too, which I'll link to in the description below. Like this video, leave a comment below. I've actually got some more shambolic shuffling happening within the course of the next week, which I hope that you enjoy. Thank you very much indeed once again.